Hi, Total Recapped here. Today we will be going through the events of the 2006 action fantasy film Eragon by Stephen Fangmeyer. Warning, the video contains spoilers, so watch at your own risk. Now let's get right into the movie. The film begins with a voice telling about the land of Alagaesia, which was ruled by men who rode magnificent dragons. The riders grew arrogant, and there were battles among them for power. One such rider, Galbatorix, betrayed them and killed them all in one single battle. Ever since, Galbatorix is the ruler who crushed any rebellion, including the freedom fighters called the Varden. Survivors fled to the mountains hoping for a miracle to take the king down. Arya, an ally of the Varden, rode with a stone which was stolen from King Galbatorix. Eragon, a young boy, miles away, goes out hunting in the woods. Galbatorix's men intercept Arya's cavalry and pins down most of Arya's support. Meanwhile, Eragon looks for the buck. Galbatorix's sidekick Durza tries to make a deal with Arya for the stone and her life, while he surrounds her with fire. However, Arya, being the staple righteous rebel, casts away the stone to an unknown location while chanting a spell. The stone is found by an awestruck Eragon, and he just stares at it. In the kingdom, the soldiers take two boys away from their parents to join the army. As the parents resist, soldiers justify it as merely fulfilling a village's share. Eragon is at the butcher trying to make a price for his hunt, but the butcher belittles him for it. He brings out the stone for trade, and he tells the butcher that he has found it hunting in the spine. Butcher immediately tells him to get lost, as it was the king's and he'd get the whole village to be casted away. In the village, soldiers mess around with a villager by accusing him of theft of turkeys and confiscating the turkeys. At a farm, Eragon is greeted by Roran, his cousin. Both of them get into a session of traditional combat in the barn where Garrow, Eragon's uncle, comes in and asks them to stop. Roran tells he won't join the army. He doesn't know yet where he is going, only that he is going. When he is alone, Eragon takes a look at the stone. Eragon and Garrow discuss Roran's decision as they clean the horse. He tells him that there will be a day when he will go. Eragon says that he liked it there, and both of them discuss Eragon's mother. Before departing, Roran receives a few dimes from his father Garrow. Although he refuses to take it, the two have a moment before separating. Eragon and Roran walk away. He gives Eragon a good wish and departs. Eragon sits idle at the barn when the stone begins to make a crackling sound and rolls around. Soon it is revealed to be an egg, and a blue dragon hatches out. Eragon, when touched, the dragon causes a beam of light to be induced, and somehow it hits Arya, who is still captive. She tells Galbatorix's wizard about it. At the barn, Eragon tries to get along with the dragon. The dragon, being true to its nature, eats up a rat, and the two rejoice at this. Galbatorix is informed of the hatching. He tells that if Varden knows about the legend, he will be challenged. He despises the posies of Durza for not letting it reach Varden. Durza vows to kill the man who dared such a treason, and he summons his demons while yelling a spell in the dark. He tasks his demons to kill the rider. Back in the village, the man whose kids were taken by the soldiers goes on a rant. Brom begins to recall the days of peace and liberty when there was no Galbatorix. Soldiers barge in and threaten his descent. Eragon plays around with Sapphira, the dragon, as it learns to fly. While doing one such flying, she flies away, but she leaves a marking on Eragon's hand that glows up. Moments later, she returns a fully grown dragon. She seconds Brom's words that the time of the dragons had come, and also it is revealed that she can read Eragon's thoughts. She says that Eragon is her rider. Eragon goes to Brom to get clarity. There he finds a book with legends of dragons when Brom storms in and asks him to get out. Eragon asks him about the dragons. He tries to shush him away, but Eragon's reverse psychology had hit a nerve on Brom by then. After Eragon leaves, he brings out a red sword which is special to him. Eragon eavesdrops in the butcher's house where the butcher is being tormented by Durza's demons for information. The butcher rats on Eragon as his fear surmounts and he runs. He is picked up by Sapphira and they fly. After much insisting, Sapphira drops Eragon at the farm. He runs in to find Garrow on the ground and became a part of it too. He tells Sapphira to leave as he thinks it's because of her that Garrow is no more. She leaves with a twinkle in her eye. Brom then goes into the barn and sets Garrow on fire for a funeral and gets Eragon to ride on a horse and leave. Eragon sees behind the man on fire but continues. The two take a stop in the midst of the woods where he asks him to summon the dragon and how his uncle was killed by the demons. He tells him revenge is on Durza and he persuades him to call Sapphira. After Eragon's summoning, she joins them too. Eragon apologizes for his rudeness earlier, and he introduces Saphira to Braum. In his assessment of Saphira, Braum cleverly turns around the appreciation for Eragon pursuing him to accept that he is the rider. He reveals that if a rider dies, the dragon follows. In the place, Durza appears at the barracks and tasks his men to bring Eragon's head. Eragon and Braum don the horses and leave for the river. They stumble upon a group of Urgals causing chaos. Eragon tells him that he is capable of combat and is skillful. Braum challenges him to a round where he thrashes him. While starting a fire, Braum tells about the plan to get to Varden. Both of them reach the Darret village. They park their horses and start looking for bread. Eragon is feared as a few people stare at him. He is greeted by Angela, who asks permission to do a fortune reading. She tells him that he is powerful, but a doom is approaching, and also tells about a girl. They are interrupted by Durza's men. Braum saves him. As they escape, they are attacked by others. Eragon shoots an arrow while casting a spell, and it dawns catastrophe upon the assassins. The next morning, Eragon wakes up to a hangover of tiredness. Braum tells him that with dragon's magic comes to the riders. He tells about the rules around magic and how elves' language has to be learned. They look for another way as Saphira enters and asks for Eragon to fly. He agrees and the two take off. In the flight, both of them explore Saphira's physical abilities, and her mental capacity gets revealed from her power to comfort Eragon. She gives him her perception of the world as Braum follows them on the ground. She detects Razix, the demons who are going to attack Braum. They both nosedive to the Razix. Eragon and Braum combat them. Braum brings out his red sword and the duo get to heal Saphira, who crash-landed on the nosedive. He finds the dragon rider symbol on Braum's hand, but he tells that his dragon had been murdered by the same red sword by Morzon, a fellow rider. He tells about how he avenged his dragon by killing Morzon by his own sword. He rests his hope on Saphira and Eragon. Durza is greeted by a wounded Razix of his, who established further disappointment because of Eragon's absence. Durza murders the pack's leader and promotes another one. Eragon sees a woman in the woods dancing in his sleep. The woman reveals her to be Arya and asks for help. She tells that she is in Durza's captivity at Gilad. Braum tells him not to be distracted and to head for Varden. Saphira advises the same, but Eragon insists as he flies away to Gilad. Eragon dupes his way into the prisoner under a veil, but he is incensed by an assassin. He uses his magic to find Arya, but she tells him to go and leave her. Durza appears and attacks Eragon, but Braum takes the fall. They pick up Arya looking to escape when Saphira comes in. The assassin who had sensed Eragon turns around and saves him instead. The trio fly away on Saphira. A wounded Braum gives his sword to Eragon and asks him to go to Varden. He tries to heal him with his magic, but isn't strong enough yet. He asks for forgiveness, and Braum passes away with pride. Saphira turns Braum's stone casket into a diamond holder for the material existence that is no more. Back at the palace, Durza plays around with Arya, whom he can remotely control. He poisons her. Murtagh says that he will help them go to Varden in time to get Arya healed. Three of them start traveling. At a point when only the feet are useful, they leave Arya with Saphira and they fetch for healings. Murtagh and Eragon go underwater to fetch healers, but are greeted by the Varden. Durza is intimidated by Galbatorix and he pursues to find Eragon. Aishad, the leader of the Varden, asks Eragon to prove he is the rider. Eragon summons Saphira with Arya. This leaves everybody in the Varden stunned. Murtagh is imprisoned. The Varden are informed of the Urgals scouring the mountains. Eragon pledges allegiance to the Varden. He is summoned by Aishad as he is introduced to his armor. He is asked to prepare for battle as the army of Urgals is around. He is informed that Saphira had chosen him over anyone else. The battle bells ring as the Varden march out. Scores of Urgals tear down the walls and invade Varden as Eragon looks from the top. Saphira showcases her fire ability. Down in the field, the game of death holds up to its name. Eragon on Saphira puts some Urgals on fire, and Murtagh manages to escape and wins Varden's trust when he saves a few from the Urgals. Durza comes in with his heavies, but Saphira is unshaken by them. A dark spell cast by Durza allows him to take flight on a dragon out of smoke. A dogfight ensues in the air. Saphira and Eragon are overpowered by Durza. Saphira is wounded and gets weaker. Eragon hangs on to her tail and jumps to Durza. He stabs him in the heart to kill him as Braum told him. Durza fades into oblivion, falling down on the ground. An injured Saphira struggles to survive. This time again, Eragon tries to heal, but to no use as Saphira falls asleep one last time. The battle scars dawn the Varden as they review the mayhem that ensued. Eragon wakes up to Murtagh and asks about Saphira. hoping it was all a bad dream. Murtagh has a down face but smirks as soon as she arrives and they are just at peace. He saddles up on Saphira and goes straight to Arya. They discuss Galbatorix's revenge and how they both will return to their people and in hope for their own reunification as they bid an adieu to each other. That was my recap of the movie. Hope you enjoyed it. Now comment on what your favorite part was and make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, this has been Total Recapped.